You were meant to hear this. Not by luck, not by chance. August 6th carries a pulse, an unseen shift moving through time. To most, it's just another date. But those who are awake, they feel it, a quiet tug in the chest, a sense that something is stirring. In the Shaolin tradition, we are taught there are no ordinary moments. Every breath, every step, every sunrise holds potential. But certain days, certain alignments act like pressure points in the body of time. August 6th is one of them. Today I will explain why. Why so many spiritual initiations, both ancient and modern, happen during this window. Why the chosen ones, those who walk the harder path, feel more restless as this day approaches. And why your personal mission, yes yours, may be quietly unfolding behind the scenes, right now. We will go deep into Shaolin teachings you won't find in books. We will talk about how monks are trained to recognize energy shifts, not just in the body but in the world. And we will uncover how to meet these moments not with fear but with presence. This is not a message for the masses. It's for the ones who've been feeling the call in silence. So stay with me till the end, because this isn't just about a date on a calendar. It's about a door, a threshold, and whether or not you're ready to walk through it. Welcome to the Shaolin Soulfire. Subscribe and step into the deeper path. There is a rhythm to all things. Even the silence has a pattern. In our temple, we are taught not to rush life, but to study it like a sacred scroll that slowly reveals itself through seasons, through sensations, through stillness. The moon waxes and wanes. The breath expands and contracts. Emotions rise like waves, then fall back into the ocean. Nothing stands still, but everything repeats with intelligence. This is how a monk learns to see, not with the eyes, but with awareness. August 6th on the surface looks ordinary, but when you've trained your attention, you notice what others miss. The subtle tension in the air, the heightened restlessness in people's behavior, the way your thoughts begin to speed up or spiral. All signs that the field is shifting. Now, let me be clear, this isn't about astrology or superstition. It's not about believing, it's about feeling, sensing, being tuned enough to pick up the vibration under the surface. We call this energetic sensitivity. And here's where it matters. If you are internally aligned, clear in thought, calm in breath, firm in purpose, these moments can lift you. They offer momentum like wind behind your back. But if your mind is scattered, your energy leaking, your spirit distracted, then the same wave becomes confusion. The mission for any serious student doesn't begin when they feel ready. It begins when readiness meets the rhythm of time. August 6th is such a rhythm. You don't chase it, you prepare for it. And when it comes, you meet it, still and steady. There's a moment just before the strike when everything goes still. The hand doesn't move. The breath is deep. The eyes soften. This is not hesitation, it's presence. In the temple, the young monks learn quickly, force means nothing without focus. Before breaking the brick, the real training is in the pause. In that tiny space between inhale and release, something happens. The body aligns, the mind empties, the spirit sharpens. This is where true power lives, not in the motion, but in the moment before it. Most people rush past that. They act from impulse, they speak before listening, they chase without anchoring. But a trained one waits, watches, breathes, because they understand the silence before action is not empty, it's charged. That's what this day is, a pause before something shifts. Not dramatic, not loud, but real. You may feel restless, like something wants to move. That's natural, but don't confuse urgency with readiness. The mission begins not when the world demands something of you, but when your inner stillness becomes stronger than your outer noise. Stillness isn't weakness. It's preparation. The archer holds the bow steady before the shot. The choreographer steadies the hand before the brush touches the paper. The monk stands rooted before the first step. This stillness, this breath you're in right now, it's not wasted time. It's the womb of movement, the silence before the sacred sound. Don't rush out of it. Stay, listen, let it shape you. Some people walk through life half asleep. They hear the words but miss the message. They see the signs but brush them off as coincidence. Then there are others, quiet, watchful, unsettled, not because they are lost, but because they are waking up. The ones often called chosen are not chosen by the world. They are chosen by the weight they carry inside, a sense that something deeper is calling, that truth is not found in noise but in discipline, that freedom doesn't come from escape but from self-mastery. You start to feel it when ordinary things no longer satisfy. when empty talk begins to irritate you, when the pull to be alone is stronger than the pull to be understood. These are not flaws, these are signs. In ancient schools, students were not told they were ready, they were tested in silence, given repetitive tasks, long periods of solitude, until the inner voice grew louder than the world's distractions, until their presence alone could calm a room. This is the path, not of performance, but of perception. You notice the tension in your body before words are spoken. You sense when something feels right, even if you can't explain why. You carry a kind of spiritual sensitivity that makes crowds exhausting and silence sacred. That's not weakness, that's refinement. To be chosen is not to be exalted. It is to be given the responsibility of clarity. You are not here to convince anyone. You are here to become so deeply rooted in your own being that others remember who they are just by standing near you. Presence, not power. Awareness, not applause. That's the teaching, and it begins with you. The world will always pull you outward, into headlines, arguments, endless distractions, into 100 things that feel urgent but leave you empty. Shaolin teaches something different. It teaches return. Return to breath. Return to posture. Return to the small sacred details of daily life, because the mind that rushes outward forgets itself. It becomes reactive, fragmented, shallow. You start chasing solutions for a world you haven't even made peace with inside yourself. That's not how real missions begin. They begin quietly, in the way you speak when no one's watching, in whether you chew your food or just consume it, in how you greet the morning rushed and restless or steady and awake. These small moments are not background noise. They are the training ground. August 6th is a checkpoint, not for what you've achieved, but for how you've been living. A chance to pause and ask, where is your energy going? Are you scattered across people, problems, screens, or are you gathered here, present, embodied? When you reclaim your energy, strange things happen. Clarity returns. You make fewer mistakes. You say less, but it carries more weight. And life begins to feel less like chaos, more like rhythm. The monks never begin their day with noise. They begin with breath, with posture, with intention. You don't need a tempo to do the same. You need willingness and a decision. Start reclaiming your energy, not by changing the world, but by changing the way you sit in it. From there, everything changes. A strike thrown too early is a waste of energy. Too late, and the moment is lost. In martial arts, we train the body not just to move, but to wait, to sense, to act only when the rhythm is right. Timing is everything. The same is true in life. Growth doesn't happen on demand. It happens when conditions meet consciousness. Healing doesn't obey the clock. It moves in cycles, in waves. There are moments when the ground becomes fertile, when the energy around you opens. If you're present, you feel it. This might be one of those moments. Not just for you, but for something larger. The field is always moving. Your habits, your mindset, your daily choices, they don't just shape your path, they ripple. They influence the people near you, the spaces you walk through, even the opportunities that appear. Readiness, then, is not just a personal achievement, it's a responsibility. There are windows in time that don't come back. Days that carry a strange silence before change. A soft nudge that tells you this is the time to act, to decide, to commit. But most people miss it. They're too distracted, or waiting for perfect conditions. The warrior doesn't wait for perfect. The warrior listens for right. If you feel a sense of urgency today, a quiet pressure, not from fear but from something deeper, don't ignore it. You may be standing in a doorway you didn't realize you asked for. Step with clarity, move with timing. The moment is here, and it may not come again. In the tempo, the movements look sharp, precise, powerful, but that power isn't for show. It's not aggression, it's not ego. A monk doesn't train to defeat others, he trains to dissolve what doesn't belong within himself. Every stance, every form, every slow, deliberate breath, it's not about learning to fight, it's about learning to see the noise in the mind, the tension in the body, the habits that cloud perception. This is the real purpose of Shaolin training, clarity. Clarity isn't found in more knowledge, it's found in less clutter. You begin to realize how much of what you call you is just conditioning, reactions, stories, noise picked up from the world. To train is to begin letting that go, not once, but every day. And August 6th is the right moment to return to this path, not with your fists, with your awareness. Sit in stillness, not to escape, but to observe. to notice what thoughts try to pull you out, what patterns arise again and again, and to gently, patiently release them. This is the inner form, the invisible kata. It takes more strength to face your own mind than to spar with an opponent. It takes more courage to soften your reactions than to swing a weapon. You don't need a temple to train like a monk. You need discipline, you need presence, and you need the willingness to strip away what's not really you. Let this be the beginning, a return to clarity, not to become someone new, but to remember who you've always been beneath the noise. The loud battles are easy to notice. The real ones happen quietly. No audience, no warning, just a moment, a feeling, a choice. You're sitting alone and a thought pulls you toward anger. You're feeling empty and the craving whispers its familiar lie. You're focused, then suddenly drawn towards something meaningless. No one sees it, but you feel it. This is where the path is shaped, not by grand decisions, but by these tiny, invisible crossroads. In ancient teachings, mastery wasn't proven through public displays. It was proven in private moments. A monk's progress was measured not by how well he performed in front of others, but by how well he carried himself when no one was watching. The silence is where truth is revealed. Every time you choose patience over reaction, presence over craving, focus over distraction, you strengthen something unseen. A quiet power begins to form in the background of your life. It doesn't shout, but it stabilizes everything. Most people overlook this. They wait for some big challenge to prove themselves. But the mission doesn't wait. It begins here, in how you sit with discomfort, in how you respond to the pull of habit. Invisible mastery leads to visible impact. You can't fake presence. You can't pretend to be disciplined. It either lives in you or it doesn't. And it grows only through these small, silent victories. So pay attention, not just to what you do, but to the space between your actions. That's where the real test is waiting. That's where the mission begins. Most expect the path to purpose to arrive like a storm, loud, unmistakable, impossible to ignore. But the truth is quieter. The path reveals itself in ordinary things, in how you fold your clothes, in whether you pause before you speak, in the way you return to your breath when anxiety wants to pull you elsewhere. There are no crowds cheering for this, no spotlight, but this is the real work. In the Shaolin tradition, discipline begins with simplicity. Sweep the floor with presence. Pour tea without haste. Every action is an imprint of your inner state. If your mind is chaotic, even small things become heavy. But if your mind is clear, even heavy things become light. So when people ask, what does the chosen path look like? They expect some grand answer, some mystical event. But often, it looks like making your bed, washing your bowl, saying no when your body wants comfort and your spirit needs growth. August 6th won't feel like a miracle. It won't come with signs in the sky. But if you pay close attention, you might notice something deeper. A calm, a space opening within you. A strange lightness you haven't felt in a while. You won't feel famous, but you might feel clean, grounded, awake. That's how you know something real has shifted. Not because the world clapped, but because you chose the quiet thing, the hard thing, the right thing. And for a moment, you were free. There's a comfort in endings, a sense of completion, a full stop. But the deeper path rarely gives you that. It doesn't close with a clean break or a final word. It opens into something wider. In Shaolin practice, transitions are sacred, not because they finish something, but because they begin something else. The bow at the end of training is not a goodbye. It's a preparation, a breath before the next form begins. This moment is not a finish line. It's a threshold. You may feel like you've come far, like you've released the old, shed the layers, passed the test, and maybe you have. But don't stop there. This is not where you rest. This is where you wake up. New awareness brings new responsibility. When you see more, you're called to live more carefully. When you know better, you must choose better. Not because someone tells you, but because your spirit no longer lets you move in ignorance. Ignition feels different from closure. It's not relief, it's fire. A quiet fire that asks, will you stay awake? Will you carry this presence into the next moment, the next day, the next season of your life? Because that's what walking through this door means. Not escaping, but engaging. Not detaching, but entering more fully with humility, with patience, with discipline. So don't wait to feel finished. Let yourself be lit. Let this day mark a quiet shift, not loud or dramatic, but real. A turning toward a new field of consciousness, one where you don't just know, you live it, fully awake. So, August 6th It's not about superstition. It's not about waiting for the stars to move or the world to give you a sign. It's about this moment, this quiet invitation to return to yourself, to pause, to breathe, to stop leaking energy into distractions and start living with presence again. The mission isn't out there. It's not something you prove to others. It's something you embody in how you rise, how you speak, how you walk through ordinary days with extraordinary attention. You don't need to become someone else. You need to remember who you were before the noise. That's the real part. That's what begins today. If something stirred in you while watching this, don't ignore it. Sit with it. Let it take root in how you move through the next hour, the next morning, the next breath. And if this message spoke to the quiet part of you, the part that's been waiting for something real, then stay close, like this video, and subscribe to Shaolin Soulfire. We're walking this path together, one breath at a time. Peace,